All right, I'm looking at the sock puppets tweet again because I think it's funny. And I found an absolute nerd here to ruin everything.
Yeah.
They replied to this saying, "Data says that an average MLB player gets 3.8 3.08 at bats per game, 9 innings. Thus, it would take Julio around 86 to 87 innings to accomplish 30 homers in a game. Adding in the fact that he probably had more at bats than the average, it'll be more like 75 to 80-ish innings." And I'm just sitting here like, all right, geez, we get it. You get no bitches. You are 40 years old and still a virgin. We understand. Anyways, I'm gonna retweet that.
Just new. I got a new pair of glasses recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. My mom got me this special case that has like a baseball theme. Th-
Ah.
There's a name on here. David Ortiz.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, so I don't know if you know who David Ortiz is, but remember the whole Cubs curse and how they
Uh,
haven't and how they didn't win a World Series for about 100 so years?
yeah.
There was a similar kind of curse for the Boston Red Sox that lasted up until 2003, and a man who helped uh, get rid of that curse and help build like a dynasty for the Red Sox was the man who owns your glasses case.
Ah, fuck. I'm in the pockets of Big Boston now.
Yep. Have fun.
Well, at least it's a nice case, I guess. Uh, hello everybody. It's another episode of SCS Basedball. Our first one of September, I believe.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't have time last week. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Cammy out of the hyperbolic time chamber because now she's trapped somewhere much worse.
Yeah.
College.
Anything but that. Please. No!
Man, I thought I was torturing her by fucking stranding her in Wrigley Park, Wrigley Field rather.
Yeah. Now she's stranded in the middle of some college in the UK.
I guess it could be worse. She could be stranded in Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah. That does not sound very uh that does not sound very fun in my opinion. But yeah, it's a new episode. It's tier list episode. We'll get to that eventually. But first things first, history was made. I think was it last night?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah.
A uh, a player for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez, made baseball history when, according to ESPN, he got a 30 home run game, something that hasn't been done before and will never be done again, and also was never done in the first place because it didn't happen.
Yeah. So ESPN made a bit of an oopsie And instead of saying that Julio Rodriguez got their 30th home run of the season, they instead said they got their 30th home run of the game. Which is hilarious because uh it's basically impossible to do that unless, he gets about like 70 at bats, 75 to 80 at bats a game or
Yeah, there was
something
a
along those lines.
yeah, there was a nerd in the replies who had the stats and everything.
Yeah,
Pull them up, block out their name or something though.
yeah. Editor Snoop, block out their name. Block out their name, but uh, put their IP address on the screen.
But yeah, that was truly a historic moment. Unlike Atlanta clinching the playoff spot, which is, I guess it's a historic moment if you count the fact that it's happened so many times before.
It's happened. Uh, it's happened every year since I think 2018.
So once again, we're gonna see them in the playoffs, and it's unlikely that Philadelphia, and I don't know how likely it is that Philadelphia is going to be there to humiliate them again.
Uh,
Hopefully another smaller market team will do it though.
it depends on if the Dodgers catch them for that one seed. Because if they do, wait, no, actually, if the Phillies get the fourth seed and the Braves get the one seed and the Phillies win their wild card series against whoever gets the fifth seed,
I mean, hey,
they
that's what
will.
happened last year. Except the Phillies got the one against the number three seed instead.
Yeah, Phillies had the sixth seed, Braves had the two seed. Phillies beat the three seed Cardinals and then beat the two seed Braves. And then beat the four seed Padres, who beat the one seed who beat both the four seed Mets and the one seed Dodgers, and then lost to the Astros.
So if the Phillies get the four seed, they might get a chance at the Braves again.
Basically, yeah.
I guess we'll have to see how it goes because they are actually pretty high up in the NL East right now. There's like a gulf between Philadelphia and Miami.
Yeah. It's the
I've never
Braves.
seen the NL East with so many with like I've never seen the NL East with like normally I say the NL East is stacked because most years I'm right about that, but I've never seen the NL East underperform as hard as this year.
Yeah. I mean, you've still got two playoff teams from there and a fringe playoff team.
But last year was a lot closer than this.
Yeah.
Like the Mets and Braves, the division came down to a game.
Yeah. But this year, how how much things can change in a year is absolutely insane to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that uh, the Mets very much desire to learn from this because they recently hired a president of baseball ops to essentially make the team building calls for Gary Cohen.
Yeah. So basically, I asked Cammy if she would like us to say anything on her behalf, and what she responded with was, make the Mets stop putting millions of dollars in guys
Sorry,
past
Steve Cohen.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully their new president of baseball operations, uh David Stearns, will help out with that. Apparently, he's been a fan of the Mets his entire life, and now he's getting a chance to basically build that team and make it a World Series contender again. He's got a and he's got a
Yeah.
few pretty good pieces to work with, honestly.
Yeah, no, the Mets have a lot of good players. It's just that there is something missing with the team overall. And hopefully he'll be able to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's not really much, but the Cardinals, it's a bit late, but the Cardinals have started to regain some footing, and I've been seeing a little bit of their older selves in their recent series against the Braves and the Reds, both of which they fucking won.
Yeah.
From what I saw, a lot of those wins have to do with Jordan Walker just being a god.
Yeah, he's been popping off
He,
recently.
he's grown and he's grown a lot in 1 year,
Yeah.
and it's honestly quite impressive. I think he has a future on this team.
I think Mason Wynn also has a pretty good future with that team.
Yeah, thank God we have a shortstop now.
Yeah. Your future is looking a bit more promising than what it looked like a couple months ago. I will say that.
Yeah, it was pretty bleak. Speaking of shortstops, Trey Turner on the Phillies is a father now.
He is a daddy. Congratulations to him and his wife. He is obviously going to be taking.
Oh wait. Ah, crap.
Huh.
Oh, they're having a second child.
Oh,
They had their first child 2 years ago, and he's having another. But congratulations to him anyway.
yeah. Regardless, congratulations. Uh, I hope. Uh, actually, no, I'm not gonna say anything. But congrats on their new baby named Tatum Trey Turner. First name Tatum, middle name Trey, last name obviously Turner.
He fucked up if it wasn't. I think it was a good name. And I think that child will be proud to have Trey Turner as a father. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
I remember I had a lot of doubt in him signing the rest of his career to the Phillies, but it doesn't seem to be going badly for him.
It did initially, but then the Phillies uh basically showed him their support for him and that they believe in him, which is very uncharacteristic for Philly fans. But I digress. They gave him a standing ovation even though he was doing really bad.
Didn't his mom boo him at one point? Like,
His
I remember talking about that.
Yeah, his mom did boo him at one point, but the rest of Philadelphia gave him a standing ovation, and ever since then he's been popping off. So that seems to be working out for the Phillies.
Hey man, faith works.
Faith, trust, and
That reminds me that I can't really find it now, but I saw this GIF on Twitter that was like Jordan believed in his teammates too, which is a reference to the "He Gets Us" ad in
Uh,
Busch Stadium, which is really funny because that's blasphemous as hell.
yeah.
And of course, I'm not a Christian, so I think any amount of blasphemy is funny. I love the implication that Jordan Walker is Jesus for the Cardinals.
uh,
Everything's over in Pittsburgh, though.
how are things in Pittsburgh? Decent. Our boys are learning, and they're starting to do well. Not really well enough. They're doing well enough to, be competitive, but they still have a long ways to go to actually be good.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that they lost Andrew McCutcheon for the rest of the season, and it doesn't
Or that
help.
O'Neal Cruz is absent for most of it, if he's even still.
At this point, I would not expect him to come back this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. His physical therapy plateaued.
Yeah. At this point, I would not expect him to come back this season, which sucks because that means we lost a year of development for O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, it seemed the momentum of the Pirates was completely stopped by their players getting injured.
Yeah. It was a mix.
Absolute death of the team's momentum. It's a little shameful.
Yeah.
It's a little, sorry, not shameful, tragic.
Yeah. It was the injuries, but it was also them getting slapped back into reality.
That is true. I guess, like, at first things really were seeming too good to be true because the Pirates were on top of the standings and the Cardinals were on the bottom.
One of those
The,
things have not changed. Can you guess which one?
uh,
I'm still surprised that the Cardinals have been as bad as they've been this year. Granted, they are starting to get some of their footing back. Obviously, it's a little too late, but
it certainly took them, like, several months to start playing like themselves again.
yeah.
The Cardinals lost some major pieces last year, and they weren't sure how to replace them. I think they still aren't, but the Cardinals have one blessing in the form of they have really good prospects,
Yeah.
and those prospects have given them some good players for their team. So I think next year will probably be their year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a rival, I hope not, but
That's valid.
as a rival, I hope not, but as a friend, I do.
Well, at the very least, we can laugh at some other teams together, like the Dodgers having their prime energy promo.
Yeah, they have they got partnered with which Paul brother owns Prime?
I think it's Logan.
Is it Logan? Which Paul brother
Yeah, it's
owns?
Logan. I just looked it up.
I I just started looking it up.
I'm much faster with my Google. Don't drink this stuff, by the way.
Yeah, it does not. I haven't tried it personally, but it does not seem good.
I've read articles like all over the internet about how several countries have banned it. because its caffeine exceeds the legal limits there, and or for other reasons, it's been deemed unsafe for teenagers, the kind of target audience of the drink, to drink it in the first place. So bizarre to me that the LA Dodgers are making that kind of promo. Like, at least my fucking big Boston glasses aren't gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna kill me having to see the words "Big Pappy" on the on the rag that came with it, the microfiber cloth for cleaning my glasses.
The cleanliness of your glasses was sponsored by Big Poppy.
Yeah,
We didn't put this in our list of topics. So a little behind the scenes for you guys. We basically take a bunch of articles that I send out throughout the week, or tweets rather. Uh, we take a bunch of those, we put them all in a list, and we talk about them. We don't really follow the list. We just uh, go over each thing on that list wherever best it comes up.
yeah.
But we didn't put this on the list because I did not see this until now. But Alek Manoah, pitcher of the Toronto Blue Jays and Cy Young candidate last year, has kind of fallen off this year and does not seem to be recovering. He listen, he talked a lot of smack this offseason, uh, which honestly, to be fair, a reporter did call him a fat fuck, basically.
What
So
the fuck?
yeah, basically, a reporter was getting on his case about him being a bit heftier than some pitchers are, and obviously Manoah, started talking shit about that reporter and all this stuff, and didn't really adjust to the pitch clock, and did so bad that he got optioned to the Florida Complex League to help him basically figure things out. He got optioned to AAA in August 11th,
Well,
but he never reported to AAA Buffalo, which is where the
Blue Jays,
where the Blue Jays
Triple A
AAA
affiliate.
affiliate is, because he was upset about the situation. Manoah reportedly has not even been throwing bullpens or side sessions, and it's unlikely that he'll pitch in a game again this season. But I think I would reword that to it's unlikely that he'll pitch in a game ever again. Unless he goes through a redemption arc, like a uh, insert character here style redemption arc.
Yeah, genuinely, I think that uh, this is the kind of shit that gets you designated for assignment, or just severed from the team. So honestly, he's lucky if the Blue Jays give him anything at all, because not showing up to the minor leagues out of salts isn't exactly professional. Especially because it was just beef with a reporter. Like, maybe the reporter should have been a little more sensitive talking about his weight, because I
I
can
mean,
understand that, and I'm sure there are other players that can understand that. I think
again,
Bogey would be upset if someone talked about his weight.
I mean, again, the smack he talked to the reporter was justified, but he should have spent more time figuring out the pitch clock and everything and how to
Yeah,
continue
absolutely.
to be a really good pitcher rather than, talking all this smack and not really backing it up.
Yeah, he should have focused on his game and this was like a bad year to get caught up in drama like that because like a bunch of rules changed. He should have focused on adapting to the rule changes, which some players are still having trouble with. I think Max Scherzer still is.
I think so.
Max Scherzer is like a million years old, though.
Yeah.
Uh, and hopefully after Verlander, the Mets will stop buying really old pitchers for really high amounts of money. Like,
Yeah. They should try going a bit younger.
yeah,
At least younger than 35 years old.
the Mets need to focus on their prospects, of which they've had some really good ones, like Beatty and Alvarez and
Beatty,
Gento.
Alvarez,
I think,
Vientos, Mauricio, more recently. They still got getting Scherzer and Verlander for that much money did land them Acuna's brother and Drew Gilbert and a couple other and like one other guy to help build up that farm system. But yeah, they should more so focus on either, you know, building their core to be younger or going for younger free agents like uh a couple of those overseas free agents that'll be coming during the off season.
yeah. Speaking of Acuna, wasn't there some kind of exchange between him and a player on the Pirates?
Yes. So basically, Braves and Pirates happens, right? We lost that series, whatever. You know, it's the best team in baseball. What do you expect from us, honestly? We won a singular game, but that's about it. But in that game that we won, we had Johan Oviedo as our pitcher, which, again, thank you for that, Cardinals. I appreciate it.
Blow it out your ass. Sorry, keep going.
You know, he's had his struggles, but he's also made a lot of strides, and I look forward to him being our potential number 3 in our rotation. Because our number 2 is going to be Keller, and our number 1 is going to be Skeens. Who
Wait, Skin's already that good?
basically, but they deactivated him for the rest of this year, which honestly I don't blame him. I don't blame them at all. They want to get him ready for a full year next year in pro ball. He already got up to double A in just like 4 to 5 starts. So,
Yeah.
and he's aiming to be a part of the opening day rotation next season.
Alright, just a moment. I'm getting a call. Edit this part out.
All right. Editor Snoot, put funny elevator music in here.
Stay with me, my own
Nice. don't know who that is, so I don't really care.
We do not care.
Sorry about that. I had to wrangle my cats a bit.
All right. Breaking news, according to J Mackey PG, Derek Shelton said on 973 The Fan radio show that or on his 937 The Fan radio show that O'Neal Cruz will not return for the rest of the 2023 season, which at this point again I was expecting that to
Yeah,
be the
wouldn't make
case.
much difference if he came back.
Yeah. It wouldn't make
I think. Sorry, go on.
it wouldn't make much of a difference for us. We're still not making the playoffs, so might as well, not risk him aggravating that injury.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But to go back to Oviedo during his Braves start, first at bat of the game, he's up against Acuna Jr., which, to be fair, Acuna has basically been playing leadoff all season long. I think he's the first ever player to have a 30-60 season, which is basically 30 home runs, 60 stolen bases. And Oviedo threw a fastball inside, which is basically a fastball like closer to Acuna than to the strike zone. Acuna did not like that. He had a few words to say about that. And those words led to the benches clearing, and basically nothing really happened out of it. It was basically just an exchange between the two. I don't think anything even really came out of the at-bat. But, basically, Oviedo laughed at Acuna, and he explained, I was laughing because you already got your chance to do something about it. I don't know, man. Baseball has become a little bit soft. No one wants to get fastballs in. It's part of the game. You're going to get fastballs in. So basically, Oviedo called Acuna a punk-ass bitch.
He really said skill issue to that man.
Yeah. And whenever he was given the opportunity to, like Oviedo said, do something about it, he did not. He instead chose to continue the at-bat or whatever. And I don't. And
Wait,
again,
do something about it? Did he mean challenge it?
yeah,
Hmm.
he decided to just stay pat. So Oviedo basically called this man a punk ass bitch, and I honestly love that. I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny that the best player in baseball is getting called a punk ass bitch by Pittsburgh's second best pitcher right now.
You were about to say second best pisser.
I mean, he could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Acuna didn't think that the challenge would be accepted. Like, he didn't think the umps would go for it.
He basically was. No. He basically was. I think Oviedo was like basically saying, if you got a problem with that, say it to my face,
Oh yeah.
or, you know, put up your dukes, basically. And he did neither of those, pretty much. Uh, and then one more thing about the Pirates, and then I promise we'll move on. Quinn Priester, whom had a chance with the Pirates earlier this season, did not perform well, went back to AAA to work on a few things, has now been added to the taxi squad, which is basically your reserve list for in case somebody gets injured. So
Think he'll come back to the Major League in earnest next year?
uh depends. It all depends on whether or not he can uh on whether or not whatever happens this year and like during the off season and spring training, if he can work more on his craft, maybe add another pitch to his repertoire. Honestly, I think he has potential to be. Quinn Priester is weird for me. He was a guy that I really liked at the beginning of the season. I still really like him, but he struggled a lot this year. He struggled at the beginning of this year, started getting his footing back, got his call up to the majors, struggled, went back down to AAA, has been doing better. Apparently, his velocity has been increasing. It's just been it's been a really weird season. I think he does have room in this rotation, but and he has a chance to be the second head of this rotation. I still think if you would have asked me before the season who uh who would be our best pitcher by next year, by the start of next year, I would have told you either Mitch Keller, Ruanzi Contreras, or Quinn Priester.
Yeah.
And now it's looking like it's probably gonna be Mitch Keller. But Priester, he still has potential to be a better pitcher than Keller, which I know is basically sacrilege because obviously Keller's been our best pitcher all year. He's been our most consistent pitcher all year, despite a couple struggles after the All-Star break.
Do you think Priester has the potential to be better?
Yes, but I'm a little more hesitant on that yes than I was initially.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ugh.
And that's especially the case since we've got uh number 1 overall picks Paul Skeens to throw into the mix now. And people are calling him the next Garrett Cole, the next Steven Strasburg, the next whatever top pitching prospect from the last couple of years.
From the sounds of it, he's kind of living up to that.
Yeah, he did well in his 5 starts this year. Again, they have deactivated him for the rest of this year, which I agree with. You know,
Yeah, I think it was. I agree it was the right decision.
but yeah. Uh Basically what you can take away from this is Oviedo thinks the game is getting soft and thinks Acuna Jr. is a punk ass bitch. Keller is still our best pitcher. I have no idea what's going on with Roansy Contreras, and I think his entire career might be flushing down the toilet as we speak. Quinn Priester.
I'm so sorry for all the times that I shit on K. Brian Hayes, confusing him for Roansy Contreras.
It's okay. Quinn Priester, while his career isn't as in jeopardy as Rowanzi's is, he's still not showing me much of that, of what he showed me during last year. Basically, what to take away from all of this is our pitching is a mess, and I'm scared.
Yeah, I know how that is. St. Louis was the team that had 6 starting pitchers.
Damn.
St. Louis's pitching has actually gotten a lot better. I think a lot of that, I'd say, is owed to Joe Romero.
Really?
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Okay, alright.
He's got an ERA of less than 4. It's 3.68 right now, which is pretty good for someone who basically, for someone who started this year.
Yeah. And then
Liberatore has been doing good. Michaelis is still doing good.
has Wayno improved at all, even slightly?
Wayno, I don't know. I haven't really seen him that much. This is probably going to be his last year, though, because, yeah, this was a really rough year for him. His ERA is still monstrously high. It's at 8.19 right now.
Jesus. Well, that answers that question, I guess.
Compared to the rest of his team, Michaelis is at 4.75.
Yeah.
Gallegos at 4.42. Yeah, Wainwright just casually has 4 more ERA than good amount of the pitching staff.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. You could be the Yankees. You could
What is
be...
going on with the Yankees other than the fact that they're still last in their division?
So the Yankees recently called up top prospect Jason Dominguez to their roster because basically how they're looking at this is the season is basically done. They're not going to be able to do anything of note, but they might as well bring up one of their future guys and see what they have with him. And he was doing pretty well, all things considered. He homered his first at-bat against the Astros. He homered 2 more times, and then he got injured. And I forget, is this injury for the rest of this year?
It's a UCL, so he needs Tommy. He tore his UCL, so he needs Tommy Johns. He's gonna be gone for a while.
He's gonna be. Oh yeah, he's gonna be gone for a long while. Which honestly, good. I was starting to get worried that the Yankees had themselves a Yordan Alvarez type of player, but it seems like even if that is the case, they're not gonna have him for a good while.
You'd think that Aaron Judge would be like their Alvarez.
Yeah, but He's
And he's still doing fine. Like,
it's just injuries.
yeah.
That's
But of course, a team can't win off of Aaron Judge alone, and the Yankees are being reminded of this every day except for today, where they beat the Red Sox through a double play.
yeah.
Honestly, pretty impressive. That reminds me that uh, Snoot and I actually caught that game. There was this random dude in a Milwaukee Brewers jersey, and if you ever see this podcast, why were you there? How did you get there?
I think because there was like a woman next to him and she had Red Sox stuff on. I think his girlfriend might have had something to do with it. I could be wrong though. That could have just been a random.
Imagine being dragged to Fenway Park by your girlfriend. And you bring your fucking Brewers jersey.
Bring your fucking Brewers jersey. Like, you couldn't have at least put on like a navy blue or red shirt. Come on, man. Come on, man. At least pretend. You know?
He's lucky he wasn't like a Red Sox fan at a Brewers game because the Brewers Jumbotron seeks out players that are wearing jerseys of neither team that's playing that day.
Yeah, they seek them fuckers out and embarrass them. They're like, "What are you doing here?" Like honestly, the people who have been working the jumbotrons this year need a raise because they've been going off this year. It's so funny. Like during the Pirates and Phillies series in Pittsburgh, uh, the jumbotron people over at PNC Park were basically taking a lot of jabs at Philly.
Yeah?
Like, for example, one of them, I don't remember all of them, but I do remember a specific one that said something along the lines of, Sheets is better than Wawa anyway.
Fuck does that mean?
So Sheets and Wawa are basically like fast food chains disguised as gas stations.
Uh,
Like, you can get food and stuff there, but you can also fill up your car.
like Buc-ee's in Texas?
Yes, but way smaller. Like normal gas station size.
Huh.
Well, I mean, in
It's really
terms of.
weird because the gas stations here, like in Canada, there's only like three.
3 pumps?
Because there's only like three like franchises of gas, well, three like gas station franchises in the country. Because
Ah.
the industry is largely nationalized.
Gotcha.
So it's like you go to Esso, Petro-Canada, Max, or you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
My fucking dad worked at two of those, and he got fired every time.
Jesus. Bro couldn't keep a job at a gas station?
Yeah, he kept starting drama in a fucking gas station.
How do you do that?
You get a complex about how much more work you think you're doing than everybody else.
That's fair. Alright, before we move on to the tier list, I just want to see what your opinions on this tweet. This is basically someone's like this is basically someone's quote unquote prediction or how they could see or how you know the Pirates lineup could improve for next year. So batting leadoff, they have a center fielder by the name of Jung-Hoo Lee, who is a Korean baseball superstar right now, who is doing really well, and I think is going to become an international free agent this coming off season, which basically means he can sign with whatever MLB team he wants.
You think the Pirates will get him?
No, but this guy thinks that they should. And then,
I mean, he's probably right about that.
yeah, well, yeah, they should, but I
A
don't
lot
think.
of people are gonna want him, though.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna wanting.
I
Are
don't, I
gonna.
don't think the Pirates will be able to outbid anybody, other teams.
They could, but that entirely depends on if they want to.
Yeah,
Which, knowing our owner, I don't think they want to. And then batting second, they have Onio Cruz. Obvious,
yeah.
It's pretty freaking obvious at this point that we should keep him.
Usual suspects there.
At left field, and batting third, they have Brian Reynolds. Again, obvious.
And they should obviously keep Coach, too.
Yeah. Well, Kutch isn't listed on the on here, but they have stated that they should keep him and
Yeah.
put him in like every other day or something similar to that, or like 2 games a week, something along those lines. Make him like a left-handed, like a batter you put in for like lefty pitchers.
That could be a good idea.
Yeah. And then batting cleanup at first base, they have Rhys Hoskins, who's currently on the Phillies.
Oh, is
I-
he going to be in free agency this year?
I believe so. And honestly, I could see the Pirates going for this pick if what they're currently doing at first base, which is putting in basically whoever the fuck, since they got rid of Santana and G-Man Choi.
What happened to Man Choi?
He got traded with Rich Hill to the Padres, which honestly, in my personal opinion, was a pretty fucking stupid thing. Yes, trade Rich Hill. Whatever. Don't care. But-
What are the Padres going to do with Rich Hill? He's an old pitcher and is not even that good.
And it's not even like he's, there to bolster the lineup. The lineup didn't really get bolstered at all. Nothing happened. The Padres are still bad. But like, we got more pieces from their farm system, so it's whatever. But I don't think trading G-Man Choi was such a good idea, especially since he missed most of the time between like when he first started playing and whenever he got back from his injury, because he got injured earlier in the year and he was out for a really long time, and then he came back and then we traded him. Like, I figured we would keep him for the rest of this year because he still has another year of control on him. We bring him back next year, and then, if he does well and whatnot, then we trade him. But I digress. This guy, Cody Duncan, or at Cody Duncan PGH on Twitter, has us getting Rhys Hoskins. Then batting fifth at catcher, we have Endy, which, yeah, we should keep Endy.
Yeah.
Batting sixth at third base, it's obviously Cabrian Hayes. Batting seventh at either DH or right field. I think that's basically just a platoon role. Like, he'll switch between games. It's Henry Davis. At eighth, it's basically the same thing, but with Jack Sawinski. And then batting ninth, playing at second base, Luiver Piguero. And he says, after suggesting this lineup, literally 2 signings could change this whole entire lineup.
Yeah.
which I agree. You know, I agree that, if those signings were to happen, it could change the entire complexity of this lineup. It could make this lineup good. We could have a really good offensive uh power with Jung-Hoo Lee and Reese Hoskins. It'd have to happen. I believe Reese Hoskins getting signed here is more likely than Jung-Hoo Lee, but it could happen.
Yeah. Well, sorry, go on.
But that still doesn't answer the pitching problem. I mean,
What do you think is the pitching problem exactly?
I mean,
Other than you mentioned a pitching carousel, but elaborate.
basically right now, and I know this is mostly because of injury, but right now our only two mainstays in the rotation are Mitch Keller and Johan Oviedo. Those are the only two guys in the rotation that you know for a fact will be pitching a certain day. But between Mitch Keller starting and then Mitch Keller starting and then between Johan Oviedo starting and then Mitch Keller starting, it's just a mystery for who will pitch. Tonight we have Bailey Falter, whom we got from the Phillies for Rodolfo Castro. And tomorrow, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you had to explain who that was to me, because I would not have fucking recognized them by name.
He's basically the replacement for Rich Hill, which honestly, he's been doing pretty alright for us. He has a 4.65 ERA, but I think most of that was bloated from his time in Philly. I think for us, he's been doing pretty alright. But then you go to tomorrow, we still don't have a pitcher announced. And then you go to Thursday, that's Keller. Friday hasn't been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be Oviedo. And then after Friday, we'll go back to not knowing. Yesterday, I think Luis Ortiz might have started. No, wait, hold on. I think Ortiz started Sunday. Can't tell because I gotta actually click on the box score for that game. Yeah, okay. Ortiz started Sunday, which honestly he did pretty good. He only gave up 3 hits and a run and 2 walks. Didn't strike anybody out, but beggars can't be choosers. And then yesterday, I think it was Andre Jackson who started. Yeah, it was Andre Jackson who started for us. Did terrible. Did absolutely horrendous. Tonight we have Bailey Falter, which could go either way. Tomorrow, I don't fucking know. Thursday again is gonna be Keller. Friday's probably gonna be Oviedo. And then Saturday, it could be Ortiz. But yeah, we have a problem with us not having 3 more starting caliber pitchers to start in these games. And again, I get that most of that is because of injuries, top
I know how that is. The Cardinals have a lot of rookies on their lineup right now, so it's very Like, while the pitching has gotten a lot better, it's still very 50-50.
Yeah, but and again, I get that it's mostly because of injury. We lost JT Brubaker before the season even started. We lost pitching prospect Mike Burrows before the season even started. We lost Vince Velasquez like in May. You know, we've basically had problems ever since the trade deadline. We've basically had problems not knowing who's pitching after Keller and Oviedo. And I hope that gets resolved next year. But holy fucking shit. This is like, I'm sorry for going on this long ass rant, but this is
No, it's fine. I've basically been letting you. I have admittedly been pretty tired today, so that's why I haven't had a whole lot to say.
yeah,
It's not out of disinterest, I'll say that.
yeah. But yeah, basically we need help. We need help on the pitching front. I hope we get it soon, but it is not looking too good for us.
Yeah.
At least this season. Next year I have a bit more hope because obviously these guys who got caught up by injury will not be caught up by injury. Hopefully at some point next year we'll get to see Paul Skeens in the black and gold. I don't know I don't know when exactly that'll be. The man himself would like it to be by opening day 2024. I don't know how realistic that is, but
As a rival, I hope he falls off. As a friend, I hope he does well. I'm a bit torn between those.
thanks. All right. Now for the moment you've been waiting for.
The final tier list of the year.
Final tier list of the year. It is. There we go. Shit. I was not prepared for the ads to be vertical.
Just stretch out the images you got. Just
Well-
make them really long.
Well, the problem is with OBS, you can't really do. Hold on. Maybe if I press shift and then. There we go. All right. Now that I figured out mid-recording how to do that, uh,
How ready is our meatballs?
very ready. And then you've got
Thank God.
And then you've got Pluto and his little reef.
Thank God for that. Pluto is such a good cat.
He's such a good boy. My older sister, who has come here for reasons I will not get into. If you know, you know. Has started calling him plutonium.
He is a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's allowed to be one. Nuclear deterrence policy be damned.
Yeah. Alright, so, final tier list. There are a couple of tiers that are the same, but a couple of tiers have changed. Like, for example, mid has been changed to spoiler teams, which are basically teams who who basically will not be making the playoffs this year, but can still make a difference to the playoff picture.
Yeah, they could still get wins that'll jeopardize other teams.
Yeah. We have, instead of dog water, we have pretty much eliminated, which goes to the teams that basically have nothing left to play for and should probably just lay themselves on like a thing of railroad tracks and hope that the nearest train, uh, yeah. And
Are
then
we suicide baiting the Oakland Athletics?
no, they not the Athletics. They're done. They're already done.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Uh, we have the eliminated tier, which goes to all of the teams who have currently uh been eliminated from playoff contention. They literally have nothing else to play for this year. There is no hope.
So as of what,
They're
yesterday, that's the White Sox.
as of yesterday. That is the White Sox, the Royals, the Athletics, and I'm trying to remember. There's a fourth. Oh, the Rockies. And then after eliminated, there's the tier, which used to be, well, eliminated used to be the A's tier, but now it's the eliminated tier. And the Hell
And
tier, which is below the A's tier, which is where we would usually put the A's, has now been changed to you were done before the season even started.
and the A's are still going there, right?
Yes, putting
The
them there.
Royals should also go there.
Put them there, put the Royals there,
The one thing the Royals did was sweep the Cardinals.
put the White Sox and Rockies in eliminated, because they have been eliminated.
Which wasn't an achievement given that this is the worst year the Cardinals have had since, like, fucking in the last 10 years, if I recall.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe even more.
All right. So first up, we've got the Yankees. Obviously, World Series through wild card is out of the question at this point.
Yeah, I think the most that the Yankees can do is play spoiler. I think they have the capacity to do that.
Yeah. They are able to do that, but nothing more. At this point, at least.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, good. Get wrecked, Bozo. Better luck next year. Get on the couch.
Rather not have the Broncos in the playoffs yet fucking gun. I especially don't want to hear them go, "We want Houston," and then lose.
Yeah. Buddy, you want Houston, you got Houston.
They got fucking. They didn't get Houston. They got Houstoned.
Yeah. They got Houston all over their faces.
Fucking. It was embarrassing. All the bravado they had against Cleveland, and they went up against Houston. Like, there's such a gap between those two teams. I don't know what they thought was gonna happen.
They did the same thing in 2018 with the Red Sox. Whenever the Red Sox were like really, really good. They did the exact same thing where they were like, we want Boston, and then got clapped.
Maybe they should stop doing that cheer.
Yeah, you'd think they'd learned their lesson. But no, they didn't.
No, they have to sit out for a year to learn that.
Alright.
Maybe be forced to watch how other teams cheer, assuming that Yankee fans even watch the playoffs if they aren't in it.
Yeah. Speaking of other teams who will be in the playoffs, the Mariners. I think it's pretty clear at this point that the Mariners are most likely getting in.
Yeah, I think they're wild card material.
Yeah. They've been playing really good recently, and most of that is due to Julio Rodriguez becoming a god.
Yeah, he had his 30 home runs. But in seriousness, the Mariners have gotten much better at the latter half of this year. They had a pretty rough start,
Mm-hmm.
but they're quickly once again showing the potential that they have.
Yes, sir.
They got their foot in the door last year, and they are not stopping now.
Yeah. They're not going down without a fight. and I honestly respect that. It's a lot more commendable than a few other teams on this list, but we'll get to those. Right now, we've got the Rays. God,
Yeah, the Rays.
they are
What was the division? What was the division Underworld Series? Because I don't think they're going to get. I don't think they're going to get the division.
division is under World Series, but they are definitely a division-esque team.
They're
Still.
a contender. They could still get it. I don't think they will. But
Baltimore is just too good.
yeah, Baltimore's momentum is fucking insane.
Even after the whole Kevin Brown incident, they're still really good. They're still
Yeah, I mean they
so
proceeded
good.
to win that game.
They're so good. All right. And then you got the Blue Jays, which I don't think will be anything better than a wild card team. They're on the fringes.
The Blue Jays?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a wild card team for sure. They have no shot at their division. It's pretty much impossible with the gulf between them and the Rays. But they have more wins than some teams that are guaranteed to make the playoffs. Well, not more wins. They have the same amount of wins as the Brewers, who are guaranteed to get in.
Yeah.
So I think that the Blue Jays definitely have a non-zero shot at the wild card.
All right. And then how about the Marlins?
Marlins? They could play spoiler maybe.
I'm between wild card and spoiler because they still have a chance, but
They have a chance. I don't think it's particularly high. The thing is that in the National League right now, they're behind the Phillies, Cubs, and Diamondbacks.
yeah, Phillies.
The Giants could overtake them. The Reds could overtake them. The Marlins are in a very tenuous position.
I
So
mean, to be fair to them, I'm looking at playoffstatus.com at the Magic numbers. In terms of the Giants getting the sixth seed, they do not control their own destiny, but for the Marlins, they, for some reason, still do.
huh, I guess they have that going for them. I think though that the Reds have a higher chance of getting in than the Marlins do.
Eh, I'm gonna put them in wild card just because they still have that chance. It's slim, but it's still there.
Yeah, completely fair.
Now we've got the Houston Asterisks, which honestly I think we might have to take the asterisks out of their name because they're proving once again why they are always top dog. It happened a little later than usual, but nonetheless, it's happening. Hello?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, alright. I'm just making sure.
So what team's next?
The Braves, World Series.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
That's not a question.
let's
It's not
move
a
on.
it's not a question of if, ands, or buts. And then I'm also just gonna put the Orioles up there as well. Those two, I think that's where we put both of those teams last time. Yes, it is. They have not changed. That
Wouldn't
has
shock me if we did it the time before too.
yeah, that has not changed at all. They are still the favorites, in my opinion. I'm a little tempted to put the Astros up there, but they still have a worse record than the uh, Orioles, and I think they're still pretty much fighting for their division at this point. It's become a three-way battle between the Astros, Rangers, and Mariners.
Sorry, you're saying?
I'm just
I was checking my messages.
I was basically going on about how the I'll leave the Astros in division because they still have a chance to lose it.
Yeah, I don't think the Astros. I think the Astros. Fuck, sorry, I'm tripping on my words here.
No, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
I think the Astros still very much have a capacity to lose their division, and I think if they get to the World Series against the current Orioles or Braves, they're going to lose, and it won't be close.
Well, they can't go against the Braves. Or the Orioles. They'd have to have.
Oh yeah, but you got what I mean. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
If they go up against the Braves, they're going to lose. It won't be close.
yeah.
So even if they ended up going World Series pace, I feel like it would be for nothing.
Unless the Braves get knocked out.
Yeah.
And that's only if they can make it. They still have both the Rays and the Orioles to worry about. And hell, maybe even one of these other teams can play spoiler.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fight tooth and nail if they want to get that far. They'll definitely be in the playoffs either way. Like, even if they lose the division, they're still getting into the wild card. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's basically no hope for the Astros not making it into the playoffs. A team who is not making it to the playoffs though is the Guardians. Man, they really fell off this year.
Yeah,
Like they underperformed like hell. I
it was a
don't
shame because I was really batting for them at the start, but they just lost all momentum. And they lost it to the Twins of all things.
yeah. It's really looking like the Twins are going to run away with that division, which
It's
honest
it's like kind of impressive for the Guardians to be able to be underperform as hard as they have, given the division that they're in.
yeah.
You'd think they have a lot of very basically free series, like the Tigers, White Sox, and Royals. You'd think those would be free wins for the Guardians.
Yeah, but nah. They it's just they've just underperformed.
It's
They've under
disappointing, and the only thing they can really hope for is that things will be better next year.
yeah. They've underperformed so hard that the Tigers could overtake them actually in for second place rather, not anything, worth like noteworthy, but you know.
Yeah. What's the next team?
The next team is actually it's the Tigers.
Well, put the Tigers in the same place.
Yeah.
The only thing separating them is 2 wins. They have like a difference of 7 in their PCT.
Yeah.
The only real difference between these teams is that the Tigers have had a much better run of their last 10 games than the Guardians have.
Yeah.
The
It's
Tigers have won 7 of their last 10. The Guardians have lost 7 of their last 10.
yeah. It's looking like the Tigers actually might have some hope going into next year. But the same thing happened in 2021 and then look at 2022.
Yeah, the Tigers were the butt of many jokes for us back then.
Yeah. They still
And not much has
are.
changed. AL Central is a wasteland.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we've got the Brewers, and I'm still putting them in wild card. They're a division winner. They're a wild card team disguised as a division winner. I said this last episode, and
It's still true.
it's still true. It still reigns true.
I mean, the Brewers have a better score now than the other wild card team, well, the other teams that are actually going into the wild card,
Yeah,
since they have a better score than the Blue Jays, marginally.
yeah. The Cubs started to catch up to them, but they've been kind of falling off recently, which good. I do not want the Cubs to win the division. That is the last thing I want. I've actually been rooting for the Brewers to win their past couple of games just so the Cubs don't win the division. Is that because I'm a bitter Pirates fan who can't get over 2015? You bet your sorry
After
ass
the
it is.
after the shit the Cardinals went through this year, I am gonna be happy if the Cubs don't make it. Unfortunately, they have enough wins that they probably still will, but at least they're not gonna get the division. They don't. I don't want them to have the division.
No, me neither. That's
Not
all.
after the fucking torture episode that was the London series.
Yeah. Uh, Speaking of the torture episode, next up we have the Angels, and this season has just been a long, long torture episode for Angels fans. So what else is new?
Yeah, they're not getting into the playoffs, especially with what they have to compete with.
Oh shit, we forgot to mention. Basically, we're gonna briefly mention this. The Angels are open to trading. They've reported multiple times that if Mike Trout is willing, once out of Anaheim, they are willing to trade him and get him out of Anaheim for whatever, for a maximum haul, I'm guessing. So, you know, but that is worth noting. However, uh, do we want to put them in spoiler?
The Angels? No.
Nah, I'm just gonna put them in trash and be done with it.
No, the Angels are fucking gone. Shohei Ohtani can bat, but he won't pitch again this season.
Yeah, they're pretty much eliminated at this point.
Yeah, it's safe to say that they're cooked.
Now the Phillies, on the other hand,
Phillies are a bona fide wild card contender. I don't see them not getting into the wild card at this point.
I'd honestly put them as a division team because I feel like if it weren't for the fact that the Braves were in their division, they'd probably be leading their division.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh wait, hold on. Let me.
that is literally true. The thing is that the Phillies have actually no, yeah, that's true. The Phillies do lead their division, do have like a really good lead over the Marlins, and then the Marlins lead over the Mets is even more insane.
Yeah, crazy.
So the Braves are kind of an outlier here. I mean, they've been an outlier all year because they've just been winning and winning and winning. That fucking team still only has 50 losses.
Yeah, I'm I'm good with putting Phillies under division because they feel like a team who should be leading their division. It's just the Braves are a step ahead.
Yeah, and I think the Phillies will be able to make a splash in the playoffs again. They have more than enough potential to do that.
Yeah, they can make it far. They have the potential to make it far.
And they've got better players now than they did before. I mean, they have a Dodgers shortstop on their team.
Yeah, they have a Trey Turner who is now who is who got a standing ovation and has basically been winning ever since. People said that they
Literally
liked,
powered by praise.
yeah, powered by praise, and he has become really good again. Same cannot be said for the entirety of the San Diego Padres team.
Is that the one that's next?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, the San Diego Padres are cooked.
their goose
It's
is
really
cooked.
unfortunate because that is a team with really good players. What the fuck happened?
I think what the fuck happened was expectations came in and absolutely beat the shit out of them, and they could not handle it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, I think like at the start of the fucking postseason last year, we thought the Padres were gonna go home with the series. I mean, with the World Series.
They did not.
They didn't get close.
Not even a smidgen.
They got farther than my team did, but I digress.
All right, next up we've got the Texas Rangers, putting them in. They've been struggling recently. Do I want to put them in division with the Astros?
I think that honestly hard to say. I
Well,
think that they're in the same boat as the Mariners.
yeah, where it's like they could still win the division, but
Yeah,
it's looking less and less likely at this point.
with them and the Mariners fighting for the spot, they're both going to have to fight tooth and nail to get it. But they're both teams with a good chance of making it into the wild card, and I think that they have a good chance of making an impact when they do.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these spots, it's going to go up to game 162 for a lot of these spots to be decided, which will be fun. It'll be a fun last day of baseball
Oh yeah, for sure.
before before the playoffs happen, and then after the playoffs happen, American football will take over the entirety of the United States, which it pretty much already has. But I digress. Uh, Next up are the Red Sox.
Good luck, New York Jets.
Good luck, New York Jets. Have fun not having a quarterback.
The Red Sox, I'd say, are a spoiler team like
Yeah,
the Yankees.
they can play spoiler.
They have good players. They're not a terrible team, but I don't think they're making the playoffs either. Especially not in the fucking AL East.
Yeah, that
The AL East is the most stacked division this year.
the AL East is basically what we thought it would be, but also what we thought the NL East would be.
Yeah, because the NL East is just like an Atlanta fucking sweep. An Atlanta
Yeah,
stomp.
yeah. Meanwhile, in the AL East, it's a Orioles and Rays stomp.
The AL East is a division with three like division tier teams basically. Rather three teams that would be division winners in like most other divisions.
Yeah, but it's because they're all packed together that only one of them can be that tier of a team.
Like in any other division but NL East, the Rays would be winning. The Blue Jays would overtake the Twins or Brewers if they were in a Central division,
Yeah,
which isn't saying a lot, but it's still something.
yeah. Next up is the Giants. How are the Giants
I,
doing right
I think
now?
I think the Giants are a spoiler team.
Really? I mean, they do not.
Wild card highest.
Oh,
But
I'll put them as spoiler. They've been they've been running out of steam as of recent.
Yeah, but they've had some unexpected performances.
Yeah. This really this has been a year. While it hasn't been as good as their 2021 year, Jesus, that was insane. It still has been a pretty solid year for that side of the Bay Area.
Yeah. I think the issue is that they're in the NL West and the Diamondbacks have more momentum than they do.
Yeah.
The Giants could catch up. I think the chance is slim, but the chance isn't non-existent.
Yeah. And then you've got the Dodgers.
That's a division. Honestly, Honestly, I think you put the Dodgers. Well, okay, you put the Dodgers in the same place as the Rays, I guess, but like the Dodgers.
You could make a case for them being in World Series tier, I think.
Yeah, you could say the same for the Rays though, but the Dodgers do have a lot more momentum despite having less wins. The Rays do have a bit of a padded record from their insane win streak at the start of the year.
Yeah. I'll I'll put Dodgers in World Series just because
It's the Dodgers. It's very
the
possible that they'll
Dodgers.
do it.
It's the Dodgers, man. Come on. The
Yeah,
Diamondbacks, however, they will go into wild card.
I agree with wild card.
They were doing so well, but they've kind of fallen off, not to the point where they're
They're
bad.
they're performing better than they did last year, though.
Yeah. And last year, around this time they were starting to show improvements, especially when they called up Corbin Carroll, which, man, that dude is a beast.
I think the Diamondbacks, well, they can make the playoffs this year. I think they should bet more on their next year.
Yeah. This is a learning year for their younger guys, and a few of their
It'll be very interesting to see what they do if they do make it in, though.
yeah. I'm intrigued by the Diamondbacks. I don't think this is their year. Not quite yet. But this year, I'd consider this year a win if you're in Arizona. All right. Do we want to do the Mets since Cammy's not here, or
Yeah, we may as well. The Mets, I think, don't have a chance this year.
yeah.
They've gotten too far down. The best they could hope for is to play spoiler, but I don't see that happening with how the Mets have been playing this year.
Yeah. And then Twins, I'm gonna put them.
They're a wild card
They're a
team.
wild card team disguised as a division winner, just like the Brewers.
Yeah, it's the Central Division thing. Like I've said every time.
Which actually moves them up from the last tier because I put them in mid. But yeah, I don't think they're getting far, and if they do, it'll be a shock to everybody.
It would be really interesting if they did, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Alright, now we got the Cubs. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put them in wild card.
Yeah, regrettably, the Cubs are still in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
I don't think they will overtake the Brewers, but I think that they probably will make the playoffs, and they will probably be obnoxious in the playoffs.
Yeah. Alright. Next up, we got the Nationals. The Nationals, I think, could play spoiler.
I think they could.
I think the Nationals could play spoiler. They've shown me they've shown me that there's hope in Washington. There's hope that they can get back to their World Series winning ways with just a few more pieces added, and thankfully they have a pretty dang good farm system to help them out.
Yeah, they just shouldn't hold their breath for a playoff spot because that's not happening.
Not this year. Well, definitely not this year. Probably not next year either. But, you know, 2025 that's a year that I would circle for Nationals fans. For Reds fans though, what do you think?
I think that the Reds are a little bit too behind.
Yeah. At this point, they're just going to have to play spoiler. They still have a chance, but it's slim, and they do not.
I think though that they will definitely be good at playing spoiler because the Reds are like a kind of a dark horse this year.
Yeah, which is very surprising, but here we are, 2023. What a year!
The Pirates and the Reds will not be equal next year, I said.
You are mostly right.
That's not the way I thought it'd be.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to talk about the Cardinals first, or do you want me to talk about the Pirates first?
I'll quickly go over the Cardinals. Uh, I want to say that the Cardinals have the potential to play spoiler because of how they've been performing lately. I can understand if you disagree, though.
I
The,
feel
the central point, though, is that the Cardinals are not going to the playoffs. They have to sit out this year. They have to learn from this year, and management has to figure out what the fuck they're gonna do next year because this one was just a disaster for a team that normally doesn't have lows this low.
I'm gonna put them in trash because I feel like they're at an in-between between a spoiler team and a pretty much eliminated team.
Yeah,
The Pirates, though, I'm gonna put the Pirates under spoiler teams, not because of their pitching, more so because of their hitting. Their hitting has been really, really good. They've been really competitive with a few teams, winning series against, you know, lesser playoff teams, and winning games against the best teams. It's kind of been an up and down year, but this young core is improving. They're getting better. They're building something. I have hope for next year, which I know I said that last year, but I actually have hope. Last year, I just had hope that we would improve. We have. Next year, I want results next year. I'm thinking we get them.
the next year is gonna be our year, we promise.
No, it's not gonna be our year. I just want us to at least have like a Diamondbacks-esque year, like what the Diamondbacks had this year.
Yeah, that's a fair goal to have.
But yeah, this is the final tier list of the year. Let us know if you agree with these. Let us know if you disagree. Let us know if you're unsure and you're just listening because you like hearing us talk.
And if you're about to comment about how tired I sounded throughout this whole thing, don't bother. I am tired. I've been guzzling coffee to be able to record this week. So I apologize that I wasn't saying as much as I usually do,
I feel
but
like
I still hope you enjoyed it.
I feel like if I didn't guzzle down, like, caffeine earlier today, I probably would be in the same boat, but...
Just the pod, just the broadcaster. It's the two of us, just fucking corpses. Probably end up laughing at something really stupid.
Yeah.
Like I'd think about the O's res again, and then we just laugh for like 10 minutes.
The O's res. Alright, but that's gonna do it for this episode of SCS Baseball. Get on the ball with SCS Baseball, and with that, we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Have a wonderful evening, and when the playoffs come... Ah, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
When the playoffs come, join us on the couch. Because that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
we'll be.
All three of us.
Unless your team is in which case, good luck or die.
If you're Atlanta, die.
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
So if you can see the darkest